continuing here, I just wanted to finish off this point on death, But so God can reconstitute all the atoms He needs to bring people back to life. So the wicked are risen, the righteous are risen, and that's when they get separated. And so my recommendation to sum this whole thing up is that you believe in universal freedom. You believe in setting the captives free, absolutely free, unequivocally free, unconditionally free, and that must include financial freedom. So we can all be issued our own government-approved money printing presses. Okay, that would solve the problem. That'd level the playing field immediately. But that's a direction because they're not letting true capitalism work. Okay, it's so far gone. I mean, that ship sailed a long, long time ago, 55 years that I know of, and probably longer. Okay, because if they had a stranglehold on this country to where these few black hats could get away with a coup like they had in '63 when they murdered JFK, okay, thus, I mean, how in the hell does the Federal Reserve still exist? I mean, this is bizarre. You couldn't write a book this bizarre. A nation taken over by the money printing class. I mean, running the high-ranking alphabet law enforcement agencies, and they're all everybody's intimidated. I mean, either you accept, great fortunes, or we'll take your life. I mean, what are these people told to go along with this program? This is horrible. But we're in it deep, and the ship hasn't turned, and it's going to take a lot to fix this mess that we're in. Okay, but so I hope I made my point on this whole idea of eternal life. I know I'm going back and forth with stuff, but look, to me, in my mind, it's all conflated. Life, death, being in a world we want to live in, working for that world. That's fighting the good fight. Okay, and it's got to be financially free. So that's the world we've got to have, a world like that, where nobody even wants to have an advantage over another. This world is rife with people that want an advantage over another. That's the whole idea of getting rich. So you've got an advantage. You've got one up on other people. You've got something that they don't, something that they want. Okay, something that's highly valued. You've got worldly wealth. You're successful. So it's very evil. The times are very evil. So all the best advice, the triage I've got is just, please, for the love of God, believe in universal freedom. Okay, setting the captives free. Okay, because most assuredly, if you really believe that in your heart, you really desire that, yearn for that state of affairs, okay, then your heart is pure. Then you are numbered among those that hunger and thirst for righteousness to be the rule of the day on the earth. That means Jesus Christ ruling over the affairs, whether as an allegory or literal, whatever. Okay, but you'll be welcome into that place because you'll be deserving and be found worthy of it. That's the best advice. So take individual control over that facet of your belief system. And that's what I would implore everybody to do. And just have a basic understanding of capitalism, true capitalism, as opposed to what we've got. This is fascism. It's collusion of special interest groups, and the worst one of all is the government's involved in raising your real estate prices. Housing, yes, is real estate. And the motive, the incentive is clear because they get more tax dollars. You noticed how all the government agencies are flush with money, but the states are in debt, the nation's in debt, and all this, and they keep extracting more and more taxes, more and more, property taxes. Here in California, we were the existing homeowners back in like 1971 were insulated. They were protected. They were given special privilege with this Jarvis Act, this Proposition 13, because what it did, it said, hey, look, you're going to pay your taxes based on what you paid for your house, a percentage of that, and it's never going to raise. Okay, so you see, this is how the scam works. That's how they start the ball rolling in that direction. So this thing's got started a long, long time ago. It's been going on for a long time, my friends, okay? So this is how it works, do you understand? But now, what it did, by insulating those people, them rubbing their hands together and just seeing the price of housing going up, they paid less than $10,000 for their house, and it's worth $500,000. Literally, this happened all the time in California, or it's worth $1 million depending on the location, and it prices people out of the market. This is what happened, and now people are paying huge property taxes here. So where does that money go? It's going in the government coffers. When they do the assessment, it's based on what you paid for it. So even at 1%, you pay $500,000 for a house. what do you think that's going to be forevermore? And then they just raise that percentage, maybe a fraction, even a fraction of a percent is going to raise your taxes $1,000 or $2,000 a year. We're shot, man. We're done. We're cooked. We're dead. Okay, California is, and it's creeping like a cancer across the country, and you've got to get it, man. That's what I'm telling you. Contrary to popular belief and what the MSM keeps parroting, that high housing prices are a good thing, it's not true. Okay, it's not true. I don't mind if you want to play games, pseudo-capitalistic games, a gamble with high-end housing. I'm fine. You guys want to play games with your mansions and all this crap, the high-end, upper middle class housing. I don't care. But people just need places to live. So when I see investors, I see guys like Robert Kiyosaki get involved in advising people to buy the fixer-uppers and all these flippers. And now we got a couple are starting a television show locally here in the town of Paradise. It's part of Butte County, just up the road here, up the hill. About flipping and speculating and investing and housing and how to do it and all this stuff. And you know what? It's gentrification. I mean, it's just, look, folks. I mean, this is the bandwagon I'm talking about. And so I'm the fool because I don't want to jump on the bandwagon. I'm fully intelligent enough. I can learn whatever I want. I've proven it repeatedly in my life. So it doesn't float my boat, man. I don't want to be on your damn bandwagon. I hope the damn wheels fall off sooner than later to save future generations. For God's sake, we need a financial reset. We need to do away with the Federal Reserve. We need a new currency, just like JFK was giving us with the silver notes, the silver certificates that he was actively circulating them. They were quickly supplanting the Federal Reserve notes. We don't need the Federal Reserve for boo. We could hire Kinkos, for God's sake, to print our money. And we, the people, are the overseers. We're the check and balance. We're the ones that hold them accountable. And I'll bet you anything, Kinko's is going to pay their fair share of taxes, too, for the privilege of printing that money for the payment they receive. They're going to pay taxes on that. So this is what we need, folks. You've got to understand that true capitalism is supply and demand capitalism. It is free market capitalism, which is the opposite of the bailout of '08. The opposite. That was the opposite of free market. When the government gets in there colluding, it's fascist. When they do what they damn well know. Remember, a lot of these people have Harvard degrees. A lot of them are lawyers. Very smart, intelligent, intellectual people. Okay, so for anybody to say it's incompetence is just, you are completely duped. You are completely deceived. You're delusional if you believe that. You're an idiot. You're a moron. Okay? You're brain dead. Okay? Because that's not it. This is by deliberation. This is by intent. This is how they steal the wealth of the people of a nation. They keep people down so that they can't enter the middle class of home ownership. That's what they've done successfully in California, whereby the minority now of homeowners is homeowners. That's the minority of residents. The majority are renting, and that disparity, that imbalance, that discrepancy, okay, that percentage is increasing as I speak. Do you understand? And that's what you can expect across the country. People are priced out. They're losing their behinds. They can't even pay their rent anymore. They're living in their cars half the time. This is where we're at in America. And this is the example we're setting for the rest of the world. And we got Alex Jones saying, well, but it's the best house in a bad neighborhood sort of attitude. It's the best thing going. So just go along, just accept, forget 2008 happened. Why isn't he talking about us revisiting it? And what are the implications thereof? So, you know what? Look, trust but verify, like Ronald Reagan said. So I'm trying to trust but verify Alex Jones. And he needs to get guests on to talk about this stuff. His reporters need to talk about the stuff I'm talking about. We need to hold his feet to the fire. If he's a true capitalist or if he's just a lukewarm capitalist that's go with the flow sort of thing, and really he's an establishmentarian hiding behind an anti-establishmentarian cloak. I want to know, inquiring minds want to know. So, Alex Jones, you got to come out of the closet. What are you, for real? Are you really a capitalist, a true capitalist? Do you understand the implications of being a true capitalist, how antithetical it is to the establishmentarians, how radical it is, okay, how controversial it is, what it leads to? You understand it leads to universal prosperity because, it's a very simple reason, we the people, a civilized society, as Adam Smith would say, which can afford a lot of idleness, as he put it, which is lazy people not wanting to do anything. Still got those kind of people today. That's fine. It can support the artists, poets, whatever. People that don't want to do anything, to sit on their butt all day. That's boring to me. I want to contribute. I want to give back. God gave me talents. I want to share. I want to be, I want to be appreciated. Okay, because that's an instinct that we all have. Okay, but a civilized society works together as a collective. That's what a civilized society is, as a community, a commune. Okay, society, social, get it? Social, we're social beings. A collection of, like a family, an extension of a family, just a big fat family, right? But without the authoritarianism. So as far as collectivism and authoritarianism, totalitarianism, no, I'm against all that crap. You can't force people to do anything. No, no, no. We don't need elitists running the show. Not communist elitists. We don't need people that profess capitalist elitists. No, we don't need any of these people being totalitarians, authoritarians. But that's all we've got, right? So it leads to universal abundance and excess, a superfluity, prosperity, because we find easier and easier methods of producing not only the things we absolutely need, okay, food, shelter, water, energy needs, but a superfluity of the things the luxury items. You understand? Currency steadily goes up in worth for that reason. So it's the opposite of what happens during currency debasement, which is coin clipping, which is theft, which is done by intent to thieve, to deceive people. Okay, that's how they steal. They debase your currency while they let's say they cut it in half, a period of 5 years. But they've quadrupled their income. Do you understand why they don't care about what happens to the masses, the minions that are left behind, that are, that they're kicking themselves in the pants for not jumping on the bandwagon sooner, and now they're just getting their pants on late, and but I'm on that bandwagon now. Yeah, I support it, man. It's either this or I don't survive. So, it's either you got to be oppressed or the oppressor, and I know which side my bread is buttered on. I got to care about my family. So, yeah, I care about money more than I care about people. And, let the homeless die of attrition out there. Eventually the numbers will dwindle. All the NIMBYs, they're not in my backyard. Well, you get the hell out of America, all you piece. That's enough said. Okay. Okay, folks, I hope you had a good economics lesson here. But, the why and wherefore is simple. I make sense. I'm into math. And I can prove it to you that I know what I'm talking about. I know what's supposed to happen under true capitalism. And I know what we haven't had in America for one hell of a long time. Okay? And it hasn't stopped. Okay? It's still going on to this day. This crapola. This injustice. This financial injustice. It's wrong. Okay? Please, somebody give me one reason why it sounds radical that the Labor Department, without fail, every single year that the cost of living was driven up artificially, and they know it. I mean, this stuff, remember, these are smart people too running the Labor Department. Okay, so, there's plenty of blame to go around. But you see, that would have acted as a check and balance. Do you understand why? If they had given a commensurate, proportional, equivalent cost of living adjustment to the minimum wage workers, based on the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, Cost Price Index. You understand that that's fully reasonable? There's nothing radical. I mean, it's radical. It's unreasonable not to do that. That's inviting trouble. That's inviting problems. That's inviting wealth disparity. That's inviting theft. You understand how wrong that's been? But that's exactly what's taken place. It would have been a perfect opportunity. Employers say, well, we wouldn't have liked that. And then they want to blame the minimum wage worker. They're going to cause inflation. I'm thinking, my God, that's like blaming the effect of something. It's the most horrible thing in the world. It's so evil, that philosophy. Yet people seem to do it, with a clear conscience. And it's like, just in your face. Unabashed, unashamed. And it just makes me nuts. I find it unnerving and insufferable to blame the effect. That's what the effect is. You see the feces on the street bitching and moaning about San Francisco. I hear Alex Jones over and over that, they're swimming in feces in San Francisco, but he's not pointing to the Bankster bailout of '08, making housing unaffordable. Not talking about Section 8 housing. You taxpayers are spending $50 billion a year to support this problem that's just making the problem worse. This agency, this social welfare agency that's just exacerbating the problems. The ilks of rich dad are out there taking all that money, putting it in their pockets, and just pricing people out of that less and less affordable housing, more and more homelessness. I mean, take that money. Nobody's talking about solutions. It's just buying people houses, nothing fancy. But hey, let's take care of our peeps here. Remember, Jesus called himself the least